everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Moments with Myra. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join me. I truly appreciate each and every listener, and I hope today's conversation encourages you to live with more peace, confidence, and purpose. Today, we are talking about something that many people struggle with, and that's the power of saying no. For some of us, saying no feels uncomfortable. We worry about disappointing people, hurting someone's feelings, or being seen as selfish. So we say yes. Even when we're exhausted, we say yes when our schedules are already full, and we say yes when our hearts are telling us that we need to rest. But every time we say yes to something that doesn't serve us, we must be saying no to our own peace, health, and priorities. Learning to say no is one of the greatest forms of self respect. Many of us were raised to help others, be available, and put everyone else's needs ahead of our own. While generosity is a beautiful quality, constantly neglecting yourself isn't sustainable. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Think about how many times you've agreed to something because you felt obligated rather than excited to do it. Think about that now. Maybe you volunteered for another project, attended an event you didn't want to go to, or took a responsibility that belonged to someone else. Afterwards, you probably felt drained, stressed, or even a little resentful. And I have to admit, I've been there because I used to be a yes person, saying yes to everything, but I no longer do that. That's because your spirit knew that you needed a boundary. And believe me, honey, I have created boundaries left and right. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They're healthy guidelines that protect your time, energy, and emotional well being. Saying no doesn't mean you're rude. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean you don't care. It just simply means you're making a conscious decision about how to spend your limited time and energy. One of the biggest myths is that successful people do everything. In reality, successful people know how to say no. That's why they're successful. They protect their priorities and they protect their peace. They understand that every commitment comes with a cost. Time is something we can never get back. So ask yourself, if this opportunity aligns with your goals, does it bring me joy? Do I truly have the capacity for this right now? And if the answer is no, then it's okay to politely decline. Remember, no is a complete sentence. Let me repeat that for you guys. No is a complete sentence. I might have to put that on a t shirt because why? Because no, again, is a complete sentence. You don't owe anyone a lengthy explanation. You don't have to justify protecting your peace. You can simply say, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I'm unable to commit right now. I appreciate the invitation, but I'll have to pass. I'm focusing on other priorities at the moment." These responses are kind, respectful, and honest. The people who truly care about you will understand. And if someone becomes upset because you've established a healthy boundary, that reaction says more about their expectation than it does about your character. Another reason people struggle to say no is fear of missing out. We think every opportunity is the opportunity. But what if saying no to the one thing creates space for something even better? Every no creates room for a meaningful yes. A yes to family, a yes to rest, a yes to your dreams, a yes to your health, a yes to spending time quietly reflecting and growing. And when your calendar is full of obligations, there's little room left for inspiration and joy. So it's important to choose your yeses wisely. Saying no is also about trusting yourself, trusting that you know your limits, trusting that your needs matter. Let me say that again. Trusting that your needs matter. Sometimes we have to put ourselves before we put other people. And remember that trusting that our needs are valid and that they matter. Trusting that your value is based on how much you do for others. Your worth isn't measured by your busyness. Your worth comes from who you are and not how much you accomplish. Many people carry guilt when they start setting boundaries. If that's you, remember this. Guilt often shows up when you're changing old habits. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It just means that you're growing, and growth can feel uncomfortable. But over time, those healthy boundaries become acts of self love, and self love is so important. Imagine waking up each morning with a schedule that reflects your priorities instead of everyone else's demands. Imagine having the energy to pursue your passions because you stopped overcommitting. That's a good one. Imagine feeling peace instead of pressure, that life begins with one simple word: no. Practice saying no with confidence and kindness. Practice listening to your inner voice. Practice honoring your own needs. You deserve a life that isn't built on exhaustion. You deserve relationships that respect your boundaries. You deserve time to rest, dream, and simply be. As we close today's short but sweet episode, I want to leave you with this thought. Every time you say no to something that drains you, you're saying yes to something that strengthens you. Yes to peace, yes to balance, yes to healing, yes to purpose, and yes to yourself. Thank you so much for joining me for this solo episode of Moments with Myra. If today's message encouraged you, share it with a friend, family member, or anyone else who needs permission to protect their peace and embrace the power of saying no. Until next time, remember that your voice matters, your boundaries matter, and your well being matters. Take care of yourself, walk in confidence, and never be afraid to say no when your heart is calling you to choose peace. I'll see you on the next episode.